Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Happy New Year! It is 2025, the beginning of a new year for all of us and for Star Citizen. And there's some cool stuff happening throughout January, which I want to talk about in a big Star Citizen what's going on kind of update. Also, I want to start with the winners from December's giveaway. So we give away a ship each month. We were giving away a Star Answer Max in December 2024, and the winner of that is Strider_3029. Congratulations to you. But also, we have a new giveaway for Lumberyard Guardian. This comes with a game package, so you can play Star Citizen and lifetime insurance on the ship. All you need to do to be in for a chance of winning that is comment on any of my videos made during January 2025, and a random comment will basically be chosen. Boop. That's the sound of you potentially winning. Also, these ships, or at least this ship, has been given to us by CIG for giveaway purposes, and that's what I'm doing. I'm giving it away. Feel free to take that bias into account when I give my optimistic view on Star Citizen, but it's genuinely optimistic because I've been covering this project for over a decade now, and I absolutely love it, sort of warts and all. Something that we do get to see in the next few days is the CIG financials. Now, typically this is on the Cloud Imperium games website, and they put out a financial post of the previous year going, this is the amount of money we spent, this is the amount of money we earned, these are the things that we spent it on, this is some of the plans we've got for the coming year, stuff like that. It's actually pretty interesting, and I will break them down. They've just had their second biggest year financially ever with 116 million raised. We'll talk about that with that financial report and go into it in a bit more detail, because it's nice to know if CIG are financially healthy and that sort of stuff, and if they are, by how much, and what's their wiggle room, what's their direction going to be, how much more have they spent on marketing, because there's a definite difference in the way that CIG have gone from being a much more indie feeling studio, where Chris Roberts was talking about stuff all the time, and it was a much more smaller production, to a significantly more corporate atmosphere that it is now with over 1,200 employees. It's a big change over the last decade, but we'll talk more about that later. Something else you can expect by the end of the month is the Lunar New Year Festival, the Red Festival. Basically, Chinese New Year in-game. You can find red envelopes around, which are typically worth some money in-game, and they'll be selling various ships in like red and gold paint schemes. There'll be a screenshot competition. They may have some specific arena commander modes, or some cool little narrative event, or something in-game to do as well mission-wise. And you can often pick up some free like hangar flare, some customizable cool little aesthetic items as well. They last year ran a In Case You Missed It sale as well. So basically, in January 2024, they went, look, these are all the ships that we sold throughout 2023, and you can get them again now for this month if you want to buy them. So if they do the same this year, which is likely, they'll have the Lumberyard Guardian and QI variant, the Terrapin Medic, the F7C Mark IIs, the Ghost and Tracker, and maybe even the base Mark II. You've got the RSI Polaris, which is probably going to be pretty popular. The CSV SM, that little flatbed truck. The Star Lancers, which are like super freelancers, very, very cool ships. The Argo ATLS Titan suit, although they are available in game as well, because they're basically glorified tractor beams, but they are likely to sell them again as well. The Sabre, Peregrine, and Firebird, the Zeus Mark IIs, the Argo MPUV tractor beam variant, the Urza Medivac, the Mirai Pulse and Pulse LX hoverbikes, maybe the Retaliator Gold Standard with its modules, and maybe even the Santokian X series of bikes, although I think they were sold at the very end of 2023. There are a couple of concepts as well that they're likely to sell: the Paladin gunship, which should turn up here, and the Ironclad and Ironclad Assault, I think. The In Case You Missed It sale started mid-January last year, so expect something similar if they are going to be doing that. Now, something that we're unlikely to be seeing throughout January are roadmap updates, because typically this is their planning month for Star Citizen, so they work out exactly what they want to plan to deliver throughout the year, and if it's viable to do that, they sort of plan that roughly what they're going to do patch-wise and stuff like that, and then update the roadmap accordingly, typically in February. So it might be the end of January, it might be sort of start or mid-February that we get to see a roadmap update. We might hear a bit about the planning and the big things that they want to hit throughout the year, but obviously we've had CitizenCon where CIG have gone, bam, this is some of the stuff that we want to get in game for 1.0, and that gives us a big indication of, well, some of those features are going to be focused on throughout this year and come into the game this year, and major focus on Star Citizen is playability, so they're going to be refining, improving, and getting everything into a good state is the idea, I believe. And that's probably a good segue to the 4.0 preview is currently available, which is effectively a live build. Now, CIG are going to be phasing 3.24.3 out and bringing 4.0 fully in over the next few weeks. That potentially could be by the end of January. We're going to see a load of hotfixes for 4.0 whatever, and that CIG were working through Christmas and still are. There's still a at least reasonable amount of staff at CIG still, though they haven't started full-on production of everything again. But yeah, 4.0, getting lots of hotfixes. They're going to be trying to improve that. Part 1 of Safe Stanton's still live with the 3.24.3 build, so that will be going as soon as 4.0 takes over entirely, so bear that in mind. And 4.0 does have its problems, but as I said, CIG are trying to improve that, and you'll see more improvements and potentially it fully phased into live by the end of the month. We'll have to wait and see. It could be that they spend longer on phasing that into the live build. When are CIG fully back in the office then? Well, they, as I said, maintain a smaller amount of staff until operations start properly again mid-January typically. We should then see This Week in Star Citizens and the monthly reports turn up, I suppose, as early as next week. It's going to be next week or the week after we see This Week in Star Citizens. We see monthly reports turn back up. But you're not likely to see Inside Star Citizen Live until the end of January, early February kind of time. So bear that in mind. Same sort of thing with roadmap updates. You're not going to see a roadmap update until February at some point, almost certainly, because of their planning month. Stuff on the channel, well, we'll be covering 4.0 to a good degree. There's a load of stuff that's playable now and in a reasonably good state. Yes, there are a load of bugs, and if you're encountering them repeatedly, it's going to be frustrating, but I want to do stuff like some of the missions, go have a look at and explore around Pyro, mess around with contested zones, see if we can get some medical rescue gameplay on the go. Pyro is absolutely huge. There is a load of cool settlements there. There's a load of cool stuff to see. I've only seen a fraction of it, and that is something you're going to see a lot more on the channel this year, is us play Star Citizen a lot more and sort of have some edited gameplay as a video rather than just being used as B-roll and that sort of stuff. We will actually be playing a lot more because Star Citizen is getting into a much more playable state, or at least it should be once they've refined 4.0. We also might have a bit more of a hard schedule, so I want to sort of be streaming twice a week, that sort of stuff, maybe Monday, maybe Friday kind of thing for at least an hour, because I like to talk to anyone that's going to join in to the stream about Star Citizen, answer some questions, talk about what's sort of hot topics are, talk about what people think we should be covering news-wise, just kind of talk about Star Citizen and talk to the community. But I also like to be like, bam, on Mondays we have the podcast, on Saturday we have like a news episode, Sunday we have the lore, things like that. Have a bit more rooted schedule that we sort of try and stick to, and the types of video that we have, and potentially have a couple of days where we have 2 or more videos coming out as well. To help us do that, I've upgraded Zinanai's computers, so we both have 7950 X3D processors and 64 gigs of DDR5 RAM. We have pretty mirrored setups now, and both are running GeForce 3080s. Now, at the moment, from what I can tell, we were being reasonably CPU sort of bottlenecked in Star Citizen before our upgrades, and I'm going to see where we are now. We're typically going to be recording in 1440p, but I do want to move that up to 4K at some point, and we'll see what the sort of GeForce 50 series are like. They may be ridiculously overpriced. Almost certainly will be to justify a purchase of that, but we'll see. We'll see. Anything to improve the quality of videos on the channel and to support us actually having more gameplay, I think is a good shout. And I am expecting throughout the year CIG to move into a much more beta version of early access. I do think their focus on playability is going to make the game feel a lot better. It's going to be early access. It's just going to be a very playable early access version of Star Citizen, with CIG focusing on sort of getting the flight model and combat model into a much better state, more finalized for Squadron's needs as well, ironing out a load of the bugs for the network code, for server meshing, dynamic server meshing maybe even sort of being looked at, sort of getting Vulkan in more fully, better graphics options, just getting the game into a much more mainstream state. I do think it's the plan. We are likely going to be putting a podcast on tomorrow because Zin's coming back from holiday, but I am pretty excited for what's coming this year, and I'm hoping we see things like base building and sort of, well, in the early point of the year, the return of spawning properly in your home hangar when you spawn and all of that sort of stuff to work. I also would love to be able to spawn in my home hangar when I sort of actually respawn as well, sort of go, oh, I've spawned in the medical elevator, maybe charge me more to put me in the emergency elevator. But I also think they could, you know, deal with sort of problems with cleanup of items and medical gowns and stuff if they go, well, actually you spawn in your the medical elevator at your home location when you die, and bam, you can just change into your gear and it deletes the medical gown. Anyway, I'm ranting a bit there. Really interested to know what your highlights of 2024 were and what you're looking forward to in 2025. I hope you had a great new year. Tell me in the comments below what you're thinking, what you're hoping for throughout the year, and what you've got planned, and what you think CIG are going to be doing, and are you looking forward to the Red Festival and the CIG financials and the In Case You Missed It sale, that sort of stuff. Tell me in the comments below, what's your experience with 4.0 as well. Thanks very much for watching. Oh, I haven't got a NordVPN ad or anything like that sorted for this video, so click the links below to help the channel get NordVPN. It's great. It allows you to do VPN stuff, and it's on discount. You can use the links below, nordvpn.com/BoredGamer, anything like that, bam. Also, you can click on join under the videos as well to join our channel membership, but you pay a little fee. You can sort of have more of a say in the channel. You just help us produce videos. It's really useful to me and to Zin because she's employed by BoredGamer. And yeah, so click those links, help the channel, like, subscribe, all that other stuff. Thanks. Oh, and last chance to get your Tobii eye tracker at 20% discount, at least for this sale that they've currently got going on. So click the links down below for that as well. If you want some precision head and eye tracking that's natively supported in Star Citizen and works with a load of other games as well.